Today, I'm going to break down renting versus buying in South Africa across 10 key categories. And I want to be clear today from the start, this is not about what's better emotionally or what people say online. This is about what actually makes sense financially in real life, especially in the South African context where interest rates, salaries, and property prices all behave completely differently. Let's start with monthly cost, because this is where most people form their own opinion. Let's say you're renting a decent place in Johannesburg or even Pretoria, nothing crazy, just a simple 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom apartment in a decent area. You're probably looking at around 10,000 Rand per month, and that's quite simple. You pay your rent, maybe there's electricity and water, and that's basically it. But here's the thing most people forget. Rent doesn't stay the same in South Africa. Rent typically increases every single year, and a realistic average is around 4 to 6% per year, but let's just use 5% to keep it simple. So that 10,000 Rand becomes around 12,500 Rand after 5 years, and after 10 years, it's closer to 16,000 Rand. Now, let's compare that to actually buying. So if you're buying a 1.5 million Rand property at roughly 10.5% interest over 20 years, your bond repayment is going to be around 15,000 Rand per month. But that's not the full picture. You'll still have rates and taxes, insurance and maintenance costs, and sometimes even stuff like levies. So realistically, your total monthly cost is closer to 18 or even 20,000 Rand in this example. So yes, renting is cheaper in the beginning, but buying is more stable over time, because rent increases while your bond stays relatively predictable over time. And one more important thing here is that interest rates can actually change over time. So your bond repayment can go up if interest rates rise, which does happen in South Africa, but it can also go down when rates drop. With renting though, your landlord will never say, hey, I'm reducing your rent this year. That's just not going to happen. Now, let's talk about wealth building, because this is the main reason people say that buying is the better option. When you rent, every month that money is gone. You're paying for a place to live and that's it. But you're not building anything, and that is the issue. When you buy, however, you are building equity. But this doesn't happen evenly or quickly. And that's where most people misunderstand property. If you want to learn more about property and specifically investing in property, I currently have a massive 50% discount on my online course with limited spots available. You can use the coupon code 50% off to save 50% on this online course. Check out the website and go through the course curriculum to see all the topics that I cover in detail. This online course will help you save thousands and really understand how to make money with property. Now, let's talk about something called amortization, because this is something that nobody really explains properly. When you take a home loan, your repayment is split into interest and capital. But unfortunately, it's not 50-50. It's heavily weighted towards interest in the beginning, and on a typical 20-year bond in the early years, you pay up to 80 or 70% of your payment, which goes directly to interest, and only a very small portion actually reduces your loan. So what that means is in the first, let's say, 5 years, you're literally paying a lot of money, but you're not really owning much more of the house. The bank is earning most of the money early on, and that's how they reduce their risk. Over time, the interest portion decreases and the capital portion increases. So in year 10 to 20, you actually start building equity much faster. That's why property is not a short-term wealth tool. It only really works over the longer term. On a 1.5 million Rand home over 20 years, you will likely pay back around 3 million to 3.3 million Rand in total. So you are effectively paying about double the property value, and that's normal in South Africa. If you pay over a 30-year term, it's even more. So yes, you own the house at the end of the day, but it comes at a very high cost. Whereas with renting doesn't have interest, but it also doesn't build ownership. So your trading cost for ownership. Let's talk about upfront money next. So to rent, you usually need 1 or 2 months deposit, so maybe 10 or 20,000 Rand upfront, which is very manageable for most people, but it's a very different story if you need to buy. So usually you need at least 10% deposit on a 1.5 million Rand property. That would be around 150,000 Rand. And then you also need to pay for transfer and registration cost, which can end up being around 50 to 80,000 Rand. Hopefully you don't have to pay a deposit, but let's say you do, it ends up costing you around 200,000 Rand just to simply acquire that property. That is a big barrier for entry for a lot of people in South Africa, and this is exactly what blocks people from buying. Now let's talk about lifestyle, because renting gives you flexibility. If you get a job in another city, you can just move. If you want to upgrade your property or your rental unit, or even downgrade your lifestyle, you can do that quite easily. If you're not happy, you can change after your lease expires, but with buying, it's completely different. If you want to move, you need to sell, and selling takes time and sometimes months or even years. And the issue is that there's also cost involved. So renting is much more flexible, especially when you're still figuring out your career or your income, or if you're just young and getting started. That brings me to maintenance and responsibility. This is a big hidden difference, because when you rent, if something breaks, it's usually not your problem. The landlord fixes it, hopefully they fix it, and when you own, everything becomes your responsibility. If the roof leaks, you need to fix it. If there's plumbing issues, you need to pay for it. A simple rule of thumb is using around 1 to 2% per value of the property per year in maintenance. So on a 1.5 million Rand house, that can be around 15,000 to 30,000 Rand per year on average. Most people don't even plan for this, and most people don't even have that money laying around. Here's where it gets interesting. Renting gives you flexibility to invest elsewhere, and if you rent for cheaper and you're disciplined, you can invest the difference, but that's the key word, disciplined, because most people don't actually invest it, they just spend it. So buying, on the other hand, forces you to save every single month, because if you miss a payment, you'll end up getting into a lot of trouble. So property is often less about returns and more about forced financial discipline. Property is not guaranteed growth, especially in South Africa. Some areas grow at 2% to 4% per year, and some years it barely moves at all. So you don't automatically make money by owning property. You make money by buying the right properties in the right area at the right price. If you get those wrong, property can actually underperform. Now let's bring it all together. Renting is great when you're young. It gives you flexibility, lower responsibility, and less financial pressure. But you don't want to be renting forever, because as you get older, stability is very, very important. Owning a home gives you long-term stability and predictable housing costs. So in many cases, renting is a phase of life, not a permanent strategy. So here's my honest breakdown. Renting is lower cost in the short term, more flexibility, less responsibility, but no asset building. Buying, on the other hand, is higher cost in the short term, but it builds long-term wealth, more stable over time, but less flexible. And the real truth is that property is one of the best ways to force yourself to save money over a certain period of time. Because if you rely on discipline alone, most people don't save consistently. So the real answer isn't renting or buying, it's understanding your stage of life, your discipline, and your long-term goals.